Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Adam Perez, back with a brand new episode of A Plus Opinions as we're here to continue along with our live coverage of DC FanDome, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It is I, Adam Perez, joined once again by my crew sticking here with us today. What's going on, Indy and Stewart? You guys pushing through like myself today? It's been busy.
Just remembered I muted my mic. Okay,
Same
busy, but it's been busy, but man, it's been awesome as well. Like, so even though like I've been kind of like in my tool shed all day, just watching, panel after panel after panel, I'm still full of so much energy, and I'm still ready to keep going with this. And the most exciting thing about all this is that all the big things that I really want to talk about, I get to talk to you guys about immediately after, watching it. So that's probably like the highlight of my day.
I'm loving the 24-hour turnaround time, man. It looks like it's like a legit channel. Like they just have everything streaming perfectly, one right after the other. There's like no hiccups at all so far.
Yeah.
Other than the opening, like the very opening when they're talking and everybody looks like it's out of place. You know what I'm saying? But it looks like a lot of the stuff was pre-recorded and now they're just going. I like the format that they're doing this in, and not that I don't miss cons. You know what I'm saying? This is like way easier.
It is. I did hear some people complaining about the idea, like, oh, I can't believe some of these panels are so short. But the panels that have been lasting on pretty long, I mean, based off of the information that they're willing to give out, I mean, I feel like it's a perfect timing for some of them.
Mm-hmm. And even if they're short, I feel like they're giving us a lot that we want to see from, that short amount of time. It feels less like that. It feels less like they're too short. It feels more like they're just giving us only the important stuff that we really want to see.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there, man. But guys, right now, the panel that we're going to be breaking down and talking to you guys about, if you haven't been able to tell already, is in fact Zack Snyder's Justice League, ladies and gentlemen, coming to HBO Max next year. Zack Snyder did have a little bit of a panel here. He actually had his whole entire crew from the Justice League joining him. He had Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck was certainly there, Ray Fisher, along with Ezra Miller. It was really great to see just that whole cast come together. What did you guys think about seeing the whole cast? Because I don't even think Henry Cavill was announced for DC FanDome, but the fact that he was on this panel, it shouldn't surprise me. But it was so great to see the whole entire crew back together.
It was awesome, but it also is kind of the biggest indication that this is not live, because it's kind of funny seeing Ezra Miller like just about an hour ago with a full-on beard and everything, and then in here he's completely clean shaved.
Yeah, that's crazy. I guess it must have been like an overnight thing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He was sporting those blue lips too. I'm like, bro, did you just finish sucking
blue Gatorade? Blue Gatorade.
On a popsicle or something, Ezra?
Blue Gatorade.
It's like, why is his lips so blue? Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah, you might be right. He might, he probably shaved after the Flash, went and got rehydrated from all the talking, and then came back. You might be on to something with that blue Gatorade.
That, or he just went down on Dr. Manhattan. Who knows?
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh my God. That was so listen, the one thing that we have been saying so far in this FanDome convention until Indy comes back, I really love the idea of them still taking questions as far as like whether it be from some of the fans, whether it be from some of the cast. I do love the idea that these panels aren't just like, hey, let's just throw stuff up on the screen for you to see, that they're actually at least talking and at least showcasing some of the fans and their questions. I really have enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I like how with this one, we not only got the fans asking the director and actors questions, but we got the director asking some of the fans questions as well.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat too. Like for me, the idea of seeing them, him asking some of the fans questions about how they even got involved in the release of Snyder Cut sort of movement. Because I think some of the people that he did talk to or interview or ask questions to were attached at it. So it was pretty cool getting an opportunity to see them giving their thoughts about what they thought about the Justice League movie that they saw in theaters and what really inspired them to go ahead and become a part of this movement. It makes me want to ask you guys a question. When you walked out of the Justice League film for the first time, what were your thoughts in regards to it?
I need my money back. I mean, you want to be totally honest. I
asked the question.
I was not happy. I was anticipating something that was supposed to fix what BVS was, and I ended up getting something that made BVS look like a better movie, in my personal opinion. So I said in the chat right after we saw the trailer, or the little teaser they had, this little 1-minute teaser was better to me than the entire Justice League movie that we got. So
what do you think? What about you, Stewart? When you saw Justice League movie and you walked out, well, not walked out, but after it was done, what were your initial thoughts overall?
Empty, man. The Justice League movie was the most by the numbers book that I've ever seen. Like, a lot of people give Marvel crap for this all the time, like, oh, the movies are all samey. No, like, at least with the Marvel movies, you can always feel like some sort of, touch from the directors that they put into it to make it feel a little bit different from the other ones. This movie was like the most. It felt like not only did the directors and writers of this film not care, you could totally tell that all the actors were just like, we already did this. Do we really have to do this again? No one gave an effort in this version of the movie. But like, looking at how passionate the actors are about this Snyder Cut, and then looking at what we actually see from this trailer, whether or not it ends up being good or bad, at least we know that it's something that people actually tried with, that people actually put effort into making.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, man. Well said. I remember when I finished watching Justice League, I was definitely disappointed for sure. I could definitely immediately tell that it certainly was not the vision that I expected to see kind of put on the screen. If anything, I think it's really easy to tell that there are two different directors on this movie when you go and see the theatrical version. It just felt a little bit all over the place, very choppy, and just didn't flow very smoothly to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel like there are some decent moments in Justice League that I like to go back and am pretty fond of. But as far as like a culmination of what they've kind of built prior to this, it just felt like a completely different movie set in a different universe. I'm like, just different character tones, different vibes and atmosphere. It just felt a little bit all over the place. So I love the idea that Zack Snyder in this panel at least got the opportunity to see, or at least ask some of the fans their thoughts on the film, and why it kind of motivated them to go ahead and push forth with this Snyder Cut. Line says that Zack Snyder Cut was amazing. Did you see it already? I mean, maybe you're hoping it's amazing. I'm hoping it's amazing also. I mean, hey, listen, we've seen great trailers to terrible movies all the time, right? So there's nobody certainly saying that this movie is going to be great. But I think the reason for this film is, like you said, Stuart, the idea of allowing a director to showcase his vision, what he truly had planned. And listen, he put a ton of work into this movie. The whole entire movie was ready to go, or completed at least. So it's nice to see that the creator certainly has a victory here in having his vision completely shown. A couple things from the panel that jumped out at me. I love the fact that he continues to showcase that Cyborg is going to be the heart of this film. Talking about the idea that he's really the glue that keeps this team together. What did you think, Indy, in regards to Ray Fisher being the one to ask him that question about, hey, are we going to see more Cyborg?
That question was definitely pre-planned. They went through the questions and we're giving this to Ray Fisher to ask this question. But just the support, just seeing the honesty in Ray Fisher's eyes, and Zack Snyder, even it's funny that you of all people would ask me that question. That sounded so
I mean, yeah, they definitely had a plan. Yeah, it was coming.
But it has to be. I mean, one of the best, the last Justice League animated film that they had for the version of the characters we're gonna have before they switched over, right? That's one of the best sizes Cyborg that I've seen. Like, Cyborg is such an integral component to everything that goes on with Darkseid that I was way underwhelmed in how he was used with his backstory. He has such a rich, backstory. He is just him becoming a member of this so-called league. The the interaction. He didn't really have too much interaction with the teammates, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to see that camaraderie with him and Flash being two newbies, you know what I'm saying, coming together. There's so much more they could have did, and the kid is just ready for it to happen, ready for Zack Snyder's vision to be seen. And DC should just be happy that this worked. Warner Brothers, let me not say DC, Warner Brothers should be happy this worked out the way that it did, and that they're actually being able to capitalize off of this Zack Snyder edition of the Justice League, because man, it was gonna go real bad after a while at the Justice League. You can't say, yeah, Shazam was cool, yay, Wonder Woman, Aquaman was serviceable, but it's like, where were we gonna go from here? This literally, I feel like, saved their, you know what I'm saying, the DCEU by them, the DCEU by them doing this.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there, man. I mean, and to be honest with you, just seeing the movement and the enthusiasm behind this, I wouldn't say that this is the end of Zack Snyder's involvement. Who knows the path that WB is certainly going to go, but I do think that this is nothing but positive direction that they can certainly go in, especially with the Zack Snyder film. A couple other things, they did mention the idea that Ezra Miller was going to be in this movie more also. I do remember even before this movie dropped that Zack Snyder talked about just the relationship between Cyborg and the Flash, and I think we get little hints of that in the Justice League movie theatrically, but I have a feeling that we're going to see a ton more. One of the other big things that jumped out at me, the format, guys, the format of how they're going to go ahead and present this movie. Zack Snyder did make it official. This will, in fact, be a 4-part event. So this movie is going to be broken down into 4 parts, each part being an hour long each. So it's in total almost about 4 hours. He did also say that after the 4 parts are released, that they are going to think about trying to put it together as far as an eventual full-length film as well. So there are things that they can certainly do there as well. What did you guys think about that idea? I feel like that was floated around in the Hollywood Reporter article a while back, but it does seem as though it's kind of confirmed now. So how do you guys feel about the 4-hour part, or the 4 parts each being an hour? What did you think, Stewart?
I'll definitely watch it, but at the same time, I do think that a lot of times when, cutting a movie together and, taking what was initially like 5 or 6 hours of footage and then having to cut it down to 2.5 hours, honestly, that ends up benefiting the movie a lot more than a lot of directors want to admit, or more than audiences realize. So I feel like, if like for the first part of it, it's definitely going to feel like there's a bit too much, I guess, in it. And it's going to feel like there's like going to be some stuff that they could have easily cut. So I think I'll definitely watch the thing as a whole. But I think that when they do eventually cut the Zack Snyder cut into a movie size, version of it, I think that's going to be probably the better version overall.
I honestly don't think they're going to cut it. I think it'll be something where they just have all 4 parts. I really think the Zack Snyder cut is going to be about 4 hours long. They're just going to splice it together. I really feel like what it sounds like the direction the movie has is that his movie is in 4 parts. And and it's just going to, build. Like, we get the first part, we'll have a cliffhanger. We get the second part, we'll have a cliffhanger. Third part, cliffhanger. Fourth part, ending. Like it'll be something like that. And to where the movie can just, sequence together with all them 4 parts. I actually thought that was the worst thing that WB did, was trying to cut down his movie, because all the parts they took out were the parts that the movie needed. Now, in the version they put out, it's a lot you can cut out. It's a lot of crap you can cut out of that. And that, who made it? Was Joss Whedon, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can cut all that Whedon stuff out and put all of Zack Snyder stuff in. Like I give Joss his credit for stuff that he did with, the Avengers and like building that world and blase skippity woohoo. But that didn't work. Like, some people's magic just doesn't come over, and you saw that Zack had a unique style that he was going for. And I think when they brought Whedon in, it was just something of, they saw he was successful doing something, a ensemble film or whatever, and we'll see if he can do that same thing over here. But it was like, what do they call it? Eggs and potatoes? I don't know. I'm horrible with sayings. I'm old. But It's something like that. So I'm the person that, man, I don't even want to cut into 4 parts. I could sit through a 4-hour movie.
To see if as a full movie.
Like I binged Unicorn Umbrella Company season 2 in a day. I can sit through a 4-hour movie.
He's like, I'm a pro at this, man. I'm a pro at this. Yeah. I don't mind the idea of a 4-part. I mean, granted, I personally would prefer the idea of a single length movie. But I get it. Not everybody is okay with the idea of sitting down for 4 hours. If anything, I would assume that this is probably going to be how they did sort of like the Hateful Eight, where they broke that up into 6 parts, but all the episodes were sort of all the episodes, if you will, were already there. I swear to God, they better not make this like a brand new each week. If they do like a each week thing, no, I'm gonna lose my no. Give it to me now, please. I mean, who knows how they're gonna do it? But I mean, they're doing each week. I mean,
weekly.
Yeah, they're getting all that ad revenue.
I was about to say, it would not surprise me, because I'm just thinking to myself, like, marketing wise, to be able to get people to continue talking about it for like an entire month, it would make sense for them to release it weekly. But God, I really hope not. I hope it's something that they just drop all at once. Because I do think that's, if anything, when they talked about in the Hollywood Reporter of Zack Snyder coming back, his presentation that he was giving was also like, if they were going to break it down into parts, which sort of cliffhanger moments they can kind of leave you off in before going into the next one. So I think if they utilize it that way and tell their story correctly, I mean, you have Zack Snyder at the helm. So I think if they were to break it down into 4 parts, even though we are seeing it separate, I still feel it's going to flow just sort of extremely well like that. And there may be a lot of information in there, like you mentioned, Stewart. So it might benefit them to be able to give it in parts, so it's not so overwhelming for some people. But I like the idea of 4 parts, but I definitely will be watching it in the full length as well. Mm-hmm. He did also say that they are working also on a distribution plan. The idea that if you don't have HBO Max in your area, that they are going to try and find ways for people that don't have it in their area to still see this film. So I do like the idea that HBO Max is working on that. But it's funny to me because HBO Max isn't even attached to Roku or the Amazon Fire Stick as of yet. But they definitely plan on trying to distribute it around to other people. So I think that's a smart plan. The last thing you want people trying to pirate this stuff, right?
Comcast, I see it right now. Comcast, $59.99. Watch the Snyder cut, full, not in parts.
Well, they didn't say if they were going to be having to pay for it or not, but who certainly knows? Like, he didn't mention anything about a price tag on it as of yet. But we'll definitely have to see.
I would at least hope not. I would hope that they would just release it on HBO Max, like you can watch for free. But in terms of other like ways of distribution, I am hoping that this movie gets a DVD release as well, because I do like to own me some physical copies here and there. So if I end up enjoying this movie as much as I think I'm going to, I would love to have all 4 parts on DVD.
That would be fantastic. Alex says, anyone would watch a 4-hour movie and complain that there are things cut out. I mean, who knows? I mean, listen, from what I was able to tell is that the movie was probably longer than this, and this is where Zack Snyder managed to somehow cut it down to. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure and I don't know if that's necessarily going to because like he wanted to maybe turn this into 2 parts. I really don't know how that's going to play itself out, but yeah, 4 hours. Give it to me back.
It almost feels like to me like this was a 3-hour spectacle. It feels to me like BVS was part 1, and then there was supposed to be like a Justice League, part 2, and then Justice League part 3. Like these 3 movies, like these things were supposed to go together, like flow together. I almost feel like BVS was supposed to be the Justice League coming together, then like part 1 of the Justice League or part 2 or whatever, that's when you meet everybody, and then part 3 was the climax. That's how it feels to me, how it was supposed to flow.
Well, Zach always mentioned the idea that he had a 5-part story to tell: Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League 2, and Man of Steel 2. I think was supposed to be his overall arc that follows Superman and the Justice League, like their initial kind of telling of his story. So you're definitely onto something there, Indy. But yeah, it's supposed to be actually 5 parts, if I'm not mistaken.
Supposed to follow Superman. It really felt like it was following Batman out of nowhere, to tell you the truth. Like, this was Batman's story. Like, I don't know where we took the left turn, but BVS didn't feel like Superman at all to me. It felt like all Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely felt like a Batman film for sure, with a special guest star, Superman. But let's go ahead and but guys, really, outside of hearing Zack Snyder talk about this particular cut, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow was in fact the trailer that I think we were certainly all hoping to see. I did go ahead and clip out some actual pictures of some still shots from the trailer itself, so we'll definitely go ahead and talk about that also. But overall, as a trailer, what did you guys think of it? Did it go ahead and hype you up for this particular movie?
I didn't like the soundtrack. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like, the visuals hyped me up. The soundtrack was horrible. To me, it was just a poor choice of song. Somebody might have thought different, but the song was taking me out of what was going on screen. It just didn't match up to me. I felt like starting off with Darkseid like that, it should have been something a little bit, maybe just as dark, but not something as melancholy. It should have been a little bit more aggressive, and then maybe it should have been like some type of symphony thing where when you got to different parts, it died down. Maybe not a constructed song, like almost like a score. It should have went up and down with what you were seeing on the screen, and I feel like you would have been more enveloped. But the only issue I had with it is Darkseid looks too small. Darkseid looks mad skinny. Like,
I do wonder if that's an idea of angle from where the shot was taken. Proportions, I don't know. I don't even know if this, to be honest, I don't even know if the CG is fully rendered or fully done.
I was going to say that, because it sounds like they're still working in post-production on the CG. So I think it might be a mixture of the angle and the fact that, it doesn't look like they're quite complete with Darkseid yet. So we might see a little bit more of an improvement when the actual movie comes.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Stewart, what did you think overall of the trailer?
So I actually kind of like the music choice for the trailer. Funny enough, for two reasons. I think like the idea of having a song called Hallelujah, in regards to, oh my gosh, the Snyder Cut, it's actually happening, Hallelujah. But the other thing was, it actually was kind of fitting that they had that specific version of it, because that song was also used in the movie Watchmen, also directed by Zack Snyder, which to me, that's like not only like one of my favorite comic book movies, it's like just overall such an underrated film. I fucking love Watchmen so much. So I was kind of glad that they did that to really show like, Zack Snyder is back and this is going to feel like a Zack Snyder film overall. So I think it definitely worked thematically for what they were going for in regards to announcing the Snyder Cut.
It's funny because I'm a huge fan of Watchmen. And I remember when I saw that movie, a part of me, definitely remember saying to myself, man, I wish I could have a Justice League movie just like this. So the fact that Zack Snyder's doing something like this, I was super stoked for. I didn't mind the musical score. I personally enjoyed it. I thought it went pretty well with it. And again, because I think it's one of those things that it does bring me back to Watchmen for some reason when I listen to it. So it definitely gives me those Watchmen vibes. But I thought some of the new footage that we saw was really great. Some of the old footage kind of being in there also. But yeah, it just got me pumped, man. I mean, if they wanted to try and build my anticipation any more than it already was, mission accomplished, man. Mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you on that, Stewart, but like it should have been like Alex said, it should have been like some hardcore Nickelback, or if they really want to touch people in the soul, man, and really go with it, some type of Linkin Park. I
guess so. I mean, I don't feel like a lot of the. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't
save
know.
it for the second trailer. Because now that we got the Hallelujah, the Snyder Cut is actually here. Next trailer is where you got to get people pumped, and you got to deliver a trailer that has like some really upbeat rock music or heavy metal to really show you that this is happening.
They could, like Kevin just said, they could have gave me some Linkin Park in the end. just had.
Why are we going back? Linkin Park and Nickelback, they haven't been relevant in like 20 years. What are we talking about here?
Linkin Park is still very relevant. They just had their lead singer die. He passed away. That's what happened to Linkin Park.
Thus, no more relevant. All right,
they're very relevant.
No, Linkin Park, man. I can't
They're
believe
really
we're going
relevant.
back.
I'm sorry, Thor doesn't have a band.
Who said Nickelback? Who said Nickelback? Can I take
Uh,
their alternative rock card away, please?
Nickelback was amazing.
My goodness, Nickelback, guys, come on. But I will give WB credit. They do come out with some amazing trailers. Honestly, I feel like they always knock it out of the park. Always a great music selection, I think too. But again, I think this is simply just a teaser. I have no idea when this movie is going to be dropping. They just simply said 2021, but they haven't given any indication as of yet. Yeah, Alec, give me that alternative rock card back, please. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and break down some of these spots from this trailer. I'm not necessarily going to go in order. I'm just going to go ahead and just pluck some out that jumped out at me. The first one, guys, Iris West is back. She's going to be in here. What's her name? Kiersey Clemens? Is that her name? I believe that was the actress's name, Kiersey Clemens, who played Iris West in Justice League, was cut out of this film. And now Zack's like, you know what? We're gonna bring you back in here, man. So I absolutely love that. What do you think about that idea that we're finally gonna see Iris West in this film?
I'm definitely really excited. I didn't even notice Indy left. No, I'm excited because it'll be cool to like, depending on how much they use with it for the upcoming Flash movie, it will be cool if they use her to help set up like what we can kind of expect from his side of things in his movie.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you there.
I was gonna say, I thought if anything, Indy would be happy because it's not played by the same woman that plays her in the Flash TV show,
Candace, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. The other shot we got, it looks as though this is Gal Gadot as Diana. It looks like I'm assuming that's like an arrow. Maybe that winds up like, I don't know where she's at, honestly, in this shot.
Is that the thing?
The mascara, like, are they sending her a message or something?
That looks like the thing that Darkseid smashed down in the beginning of the trailer.
Just smaller?
Yeah.
Like shrunk over time?
Yeah.
Like maybe he
or disintegrated
world or something. Oh,
maybe he did it earlier, and
that's
like when he was trying to cross over or something like that, and then she found it, or I don't know. That's what it looks like. Maybe, like you said, the CG's not done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. What else do we have? I love this shot of Silas Stone here. I honestly cannot wait to see Ray Fisher even more as Cyborg, and just to see that relationship between him and his father. I thought this was a pretty cool looking shot, honestly, with the mother box in the background.
I did too. And it actually, when he kind of like disintegrates, it reminded me of the shot from Watchmen with when what's his face turns into Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's what it reminded me of, like when you see him disintegrating later in the trailer. Yeah.
No, I'm just messing with you. Everything's going
like,
back
are you
to
paying
Watchmen
attention,
for Stewart.
bro? Oh, okay.
I'm paying attention. Everything's going back to Watchmen for Stewart. I was like, it looks like in Die Hard where the dude burned to death to me. I don't even know if somebody burned to Die Hard. I don't remember. I just wanted it to be something else.
I will try to stop with the.
No, you good. You good. I like it. I like referring stuff to other comic book properties. I'm just trying to.
I personally love this shot. This looks like this is Ray Fisher. I'm wondering if this is a nightmare image of him or a dream. It looks like he's definitely in his football gear, or at least his Letterman jacket. And it looks like he's stopping a bunch of rockets and missiles coming down towards him. Do you think this is a dream that he's having? Nightmare?
Well, to me, it reminds me of Watchmen when I'm kidding. It's like one of two things to me, because it's either a dream sequence, or because we do see like later on, I'm not sure if you screen capped it, like there's a huge wasteland that looks like it's happened after Darkseid has fully invaded Earth. I'm wondering if there's like time travel involved with this movie that was completely cut from the theatrical film. If we get like a post-apocalyptic version of like the DC universe with essentially all these heroes, kind of like what we saw in Dawn of Justice, for that like like a brief like dream sequence for Ben Affleck. So I'm wondering if we're getting like more of those in this movie.
I have no idea when this is taking place or why this is taking place, but I do feel like that is Cyborg learning how to tap into technology and taking control of it and manipulating it in the way he wants to. So maybe that's the mother box inside of him showing him his capabilities of what he's able to do.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess. And then this is the picture Stewart was referring to here. The poor Hall of Justice in shambles here, as it looks as though Darkseid is trying to bring apocalypse here to Earth, doing some terraforming here. But I did think that was a great shot, though.
How did the Tritons the only thing that survived?
Hey, it's a powerful thing, man.
He talks to fish. How did the Tritons survive?
Hey, man,
I was going to say this is like a good opportunity to like have some like more Easter eggs if they want to go back to this shot in post production. Maybe add like a few dead bodies of like superheroes we haven't seen yet, like as part of the league. Like maybe have like Shazam's body there. You know, it's just like something to like really give like a lot of Easter eggs. Maybe even have like Oliver Queen's arrow like somewhere there.
Just have Stephen Amell just have the arrow with the mask on it. Like use the same exact mask from the Arrow TV show. Just have it just sitting there.
Yes,
they did have a cool shot. I didn't manage to get it here, but of speaking of the trident of Aquaman's trident on the ground, it looks like along with his armor too. It's when you see Jason Momoa like backing into the water and you get that Amber Heard shot. I thought that was a pretty cool shot to see his trident just kind of laying down there.
Who? Amber who?
Yeah. Anyway. So next up, the next photo here looks like we got a new look at Steppenwolf. I don't recall this shot from the movie.
So much better.
But yeah, I mean, this is him wearing a cloak. It's not even him wearing his full armor, which we do eventually see that he does have a brand new design, or I should say the original design in this movie. And briefly, this is I'm glad I was able to capture this. But this is the showdown between Superman and Steppenwolf here. If you recall in the movie itself, he's got his blue and red costume on. Nah, they're throwing hands here while Superman's in his black suit, ladies and gentlemen.
As it should have been.
As it should have been. So we're going to be seeing Superman definitely in his black suit very often in this movie.
Question. Do you think they honestly changed the style of Steppenwolf? Because when he's in his armor, he does look like the thing from the big monster from Thor that Thor had to fight in the first movie.
Oh yeah.
And see, I can call stuff back to comic book movies too. And then with the cloak on, he looked like which one of Thanos's dudes had the
oh yeah I know you're talking about the skinny one with the big old
yeah
I get you.
Yeah,
he almost kind of reminds me a little bit of
Skeletor.
No, I was just thinking like something like Lord of the Rings, like some type of orc or something. But I do like your comparison better. He does look like one of the Thanos's henchmen, not even henchmen, but
the one that chills with Proxima Midnight.
Yeah. I do like that comparison. And then we've got Superman here in extreme pain. I'm wondering if this is a flashback to when he died.
That does look like not Darkseid. Why all their names start weird?
Like
yeah, that looks like Doomsday's hand around them.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, good point. I didn't even catch the hand, but yeah, it definitely looks like that's probably maybe a flashback moment.
And I can't tell if that's debris or if that's like an open wound on his chest where, if I'm remembering correctly, isn't that like where he was stabbed in Dawn of Justice?
Yeah, through the chest. Yeah.
Hey, Kev with the save, the Chorus Glaive.
Thank you for that, Kevin. Yeah, I was drawing a blank there. I'm trying to think what other shot did I pull up. The Flash in the Speed Force, which I think is something that Zack Snyder even hinted at when somebody asked him I think it was Ezra Miller asking him if we were going to see more of the Flash. Somebody asked him, is there anything that we're going to see from the Flash, or is there any particular part of a movie in here that you were really excited for fans to see? And one of the things that he teased at was the idea of seeing Ezra Miller as the Flash in the Speed Force. So we get to see him flying in here. There's even another great shot of him in the Speed Force also that I thought was pretty brilliant. But it looks pretty clean, man. I love the effects here for Ezra Miller as a Flash. What did you guys think about that?
That's the first time the suit looks dope to me. is just from, you know what I'm saying, that
reflection.
with that lightning with the picture right there. Every other time it just looks too clunky. That actually looks good right there.
Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to Zack Snyder's special effects, I love what he does with the Flash in this. And it was actually like one of the few things about the first Justice League movie that I actually really liked. Like you could tell that a lot of the special effect shots with the Flash had to have been done with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then, of course, one of my favorite shots, the money shot of the whole entire trailer here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting an opportunity to see our all of our members together, and you got Superman up there again in his black suit, man. I mean, this type of stuff just really goes to show me like what the f were they doing with this movie originally? Like, just the fact that we've gotten all these shots presented to you guys, none of these which are in the movie that we have, I think goes to showcase just how vastly different this movie is going to be. Not just, hey, there's a couple of cool scenes here or there, but no, I honestly think storyline wise, a tone, everything about this movie is going to be vastly different than what we got in the Justice League movie in the theaters. But I love this shot. What do you guys enjoy the shot? This almost reminds me of the shot from like the Justice League War movie, like the animated.
Yeah.
Him standing on top of Hall of Justice or on the stage or whatever the case may be. That's what this shot reminds me of almost.
And with this shot, I figured out the one thing that bothers me with that Flash costume. He looks like he's doing for Uber Eats, like he has a bicycle helmet.
Like a bicycle helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, hey man, that aerodynamicness, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it ain't got to be aerodynamic sometimes. It's a comic book movie. You know what I'm saying? It's just little stuff. And looking at the shade sitting on Batman's on the top of his mask, just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to be Ty from Digimon.
I love it. But I do love this shot though. I really do. I hope we get another one of like just the whole team from a different angle at some point in time.
It looks better, but Superman in that black suit standing next to everybody, it looks so much better than blue and red, especially with the dark tones in the shots and everything like that. At times at the end of that movie, the blue and red suit just looked like it did not belong there.
Well, I think they even made it brighter, if I'm not mistaken, purposefully while they were doing the after effects for that movie. So yeah, they definitely tried to make it as not as dark as possible.
Well, maybe if they pay attention to the suit, they won't see the mustache.
Maybe. Honestly, probably that was what they were going for if I had to guess. But what gets me excited about that shot is the fact that it's there, because in the other Justice League movie, it's like it kind of blew my mind that the only thing we had was the five of them without Superman, essentially. That was the only time we got a shot with all of them together. And it's just like, really? How hard would it have been to just get Superman to just fly right in there and then get a shot of all of them together? Like, I do think that's, like, I'm not going to call it a requirement or anything like that, but I do think that's kind of like, that's what fans want to see when they go to see a team up movie. They want to get that shot of all of them standing together. And even if it's cheesy, they don't care. They want to see that shot. So it kind of surprised me in Justice League that they didn't even have it throughout the entire film. The closest you had was the five of them minus Superman. So it makes me so happy to see this. Like, it's all of them together now.
Yeah, man. I
should be the six of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So don't forget we're supposed to have Martian Manhunter in this movie.
Yeah, I am curious. I am curious if they're still going to pull the trigger on that. I know he is definitely. They did mention it. I think definitely in the Zack Snyder has mentioned it before. I know it was on storyboards. I don't know if they ever shot that, but maybe they did. I certainly hope so. I definitely wanted to pop back up in here. But man, I cannot wait for this movie, guys. I honestly cannot wait for this movie. So HBO Max 2021 being presented in 4 parts, each part being an hour long, and then eventually we will get ourselves it as a single film as well. But man, from these shots alone, it definitely is going to feel like a completely different film, and I'm so glad that Zack Snyder gets the opportunity to go ahead and showcase his vision. But as we wrap up, guys, any last particular thoughts in regards to the panel that we had?
I am wondering if they do a Justice League 2, are they I'm wondering if they're going to base what it's a sequel to on the fan feedback. Like if fans end up really loving the Snyder cut, I wonder if that's going to be the new direction they go. So Justice League 2 will be a direct continuation of the Snyder cut. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm already feeling like that's going to happen.
Well, guys, I've been saying that on APlus Hero Report forever, man. I feel like I've been holding the tent pole and the flag of, hey, Zack Snyder's coming back, guys. If this movie is a success, and that's one of the things that we've been talking about, is the idea of maybe one of the reasons why we haven't gotten so many announcements on like the future of a Ben Affleck Batman or a Henry Cavill Superman sort of thing is maybe they really are sort of waiting to see what the response is going to be for this particular movie, because and it's one of the predictions that I wind up making a while back too, the idea of if this works out, let's bring Zack Snyder back into the fold. He doesn't necessarily have to be the overseer per se, but I feel like we could probably still continue along with the Justice League 2, a Man of Steel 2, whatever the case, like whatever his initial vision was, but still continue to build up this DC universe now that we have this multiverse established without really affecting too much of what's really happening. So I really do think that the future of the DC comes down to, if this movie is successful, I really do feel as though they're going to continue to push forward with Zack Snyder and his vision, at least for this iteration of Justice League and Superman and things like that. Do you guys think that maybe even Ben Affleck would be open to the idea of coming back?
I believe, especially with the explanation on how the multiverse works and how they're doing it with the movies, that I think he'd be very open to come back if it was still part. I think all of them would be open to come back, because don't get it twisted. I don't think you get Ray Fisher. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you get Henry Cavill. I don't think you get Ben Affleck coming back if Zack Snyder isn't attached. If it's not that vision that was sold to them to sign on the dotted line to start off with, I don't think you get them coming back in order to do these movies. So, but as we see, the fans' power is strong in this one. If there's a force, if somebody has some midi-chlorians out there, it's some of these fans, like the young lady where was she from? China, that Zack said started up the whole movement, and then the other guy that was the thing that did that. We see where the power lies. The power lies in our dollar and our voices. So I don't think you see anything that's not Zack Snyder's vision when it comes to Justice League or Man of Steel. If it's not him, I believe you see fans riot.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. Were you going to say something else, Stewart?
I was just going to say, I think, I mostly agree with what Indy just said, but I think it's more like they should bring him in to at least conclude his story, because we kind of know already going into this that there's going to be a major cliffhanger at the end of this film, like at the end of the fourth part, because this movie was written to be a 2-part film. So I am kind of thinking that it's going to be more about, hopefully DC at the very least lets Zack Snyder finish his story before moving on with any other kind of Justice League movie without him. Essentially let him finish his story first, and then if they in the future decide to do a third Justice League movie, I'm sure whether or not he's involved, I'm sure like most of the crew will still be coming back for it, as long as they don't get Joss Whedon involved. I think enough of the cast have definitely expressed their dislike in working with him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you guys are both onto something here, man. I really do feel as though if this definitely is successful, then we may certainly see more Zack Snyder in the DCEU. So we'll see, man. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But that definitely seems to be where we're kind of planting our flag back, our flag at with the return of Zack Snyder. So we'll see what happens, guys. But ladies and gentlemen, listen. At the end of the day, we definitely want to know your thoughts. What's your level of excitement for the Justice League Zack Snyder cut? What did you guys think of this particular trailer or any of the information that was released in the panels? Certainly go ahead and let us know your thoughts. We would love to go ahead and further this discussion with you guys in the comment section box below. As far as the other panels today, what's our next panel? I think our last panel for today is going to be the Batman that we're going to be talking about later today.
Batman 8:15.
So yeah, so we'll definitely
We
be
get a
back.
break.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break, guys. We'll be back later on afterwards. You said like 8. You said what time did we schedule for? 8:15.
8:15, 8:30.
Okay. So definitely expect us going live around that time, ladies and gentlemen. I think also there are a couple other panels throughout the day. Like we just had the Flash panel. I believe that there is a Black Adam panel that Indy is going to go ahead and review for you guys also. That may be later on today. That may in fact be tomorrow. And then of course we got Stewart, who's going to be tackling Shazam along with Aquaman for you guys as well. So definitely look out for those panels later on today or tomorrow as well, ladies and gentlemen. So until then, we'll see you guys later on tonight after the Batman. So do us a favor, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.